A few months ago, we saw a record number of women, men, children turn out for the Women's March on Washington. With the outcry sounding all over the country and even spreading to far-off continents, it is safe to say the plea of women in the fight for gender equality was heard. We see the effects of gender inequality in obvious places: beauty standards, pay inequality, and home life rituals. But what about the places that have been left unexamined? Could the feminist cry spread further than just the need for deeper pockets? Today we will be taking a look into gender discrimination amongst employees in two specific areas. Firstly, the department store Kmart versus the more upscale, luxurious Nordstroms. Corporate America has developed a sense of urgency in our need for convenience in shopping. But has this created yet another space for gender roles to thrive? With the availability of cosmetics, gardening, clothing, home supplies, etc., all under one roof, do we see an unequal spread of tasks between employees of the store? And how does this spread of tasks differ from a luxury store to a lower-end store? Let's begin with a basis of both stores' background. Kmart Corporation is a chain department store with headquarters located in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Kmart today is actually a subsidiary company, which is a company owned by another company. So they are owned by Sears Holding Corporation. The store is known for its blue light specials, where they occur at random moments in the store and offer discounts in specific department in that store. Kmart's mission is as follows. Kmart will become the discount store of choice for middle-income families with children by satisfying their routine and seasonal shopping needs as well as or better than the competition. Interesting. Very clearly, Kmart is targeted towards middle-income families by offering deals to fit families' routine needs. Let's see how this compares to Nordstrom. Nordstrom Incorporated is a luxury department store with its headquarters here in Seattle, Washington. The mission statement of Nordstrom by store owner John Nordstrom is to provide outstanding service every day, one customer at a time. Interesting. Even by looking at the two mission statements, we can begin to see quite possibly an underlying tone. While Kmart targets families with children, which inherently makes one think of a heterosexual stereotyped family, while Nordstrom just states to each customer a genderless, normless term.
Now let us look at an interview with an employee from Nordstrom's. We have Harry here to answer our questions. How was your overall experience working for Nordstrom?
That was a great experience. Got to meet lots of new people. Got a lot of experience in it.
What were the sort of daily tasks given to you at work, Harry?
Well, aside from meeting and greeting customers, we were just supposed to just keep the floor clean, the cash wrap clean, and just clean out the fitting rooms, and occasionally go upstairs and pick up the alterations.
Were there tasks that were not assigned to you, but were assigned to someone of the opposite gender?
Not really, because even though there were girls in our department, we all basically just had rotational positions, and it would just basically be the managers assigned as just random roles.
Were you commended for your work?
Oh yeah, my managers are always telling me I was doing a great job, especially with greeting customers, just basically fulfilling all the roles that they assigned to me.
Were your co-workers commended for their work equally regardless of gender?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was no split between whether you were a man or a woman. You would always just be commended for your work no matter what.
How was your relationship with your manager? Was it any different than a manager of the opposite gender?
I was very well liked. I mean, both my managers, and it was a man and a woman, they both really liked my work ethic, and they were always asking me how I was doing, and they just liked being around me.
At your workplace, were your managers mostly male, female, or was it fairly even?
As a matter of fact, at our store, it was actually mostly even throughout the departments that I've been to. It would usually be a man. Sometimes you actually find a woman as the main manager and actually a man as the assistant manager. So it was pretty interesting.
At Nordstrom, do the managers visibly assign more tasks to one gender over the other?
Not really, actually. As I said before, the roles are basically rotational, and the managers assigned it just as there was like a daily rotation of like who had like what role, like cleaning fitting rooms, watching like a certain department, like Top Shop or something like that.
Well, Harry, this is the end of the survey. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions.
Absolutely, no problem.
So how was your overall experience working for Kmart?
My overall experience at Kmart was great. I wish it could have been better. I would have stayed longer if HR didn't change. The environment changed, the atmosphere changed when HR changed. It was great before. I enjoyed coming to work. I didn't mind working overtime. It was just all of that sudden change.
What were the sort of daily tasks given to you at work?
My task at Kmart was to go into softline, and softline is clothing, and I had to run layaway in the fitting rooms. And I always had to do that because that's my supervisor who runs that department. So sometimes I would run cash registers at the front, or sometimes I had to work hardline, and hardline is pantry or sometimes electronics, but that's only covering lunch. Overall, I was kind of all over the store, but my main department was clothing.
Were there any tasks that were not assigned to you but were assigned to someone else of the opposite gender? Like a channeling of men and women into different job types?
There wasn't really a specific gender to a specific job or task. If you were good at that department, you were mainly assigned to it, but overall, any gender could work in any department or do anything they want in that job. But if you were good at it, you were just assigned to it constantly.
Were you ever commended for your work?
Yes, I got recognition for my work when I did my work. But there was days that I didn't do my work or decide to actually slack off. But I still did it, but not in the way that they wanted. But overall, when I did my work, I just got recognition for it. But not constantly, not more than anyone else. But it was just a normal amount.
How was your relationship with your manager? Was it any different than a manager of the opposite gender?
My relationship with my managers were great. They were all female and I could get along with them, except for a store manager that was a male. He was different, but I didn't really see him at work because I worked a night shift. But overall, I had a great relationship with them. They weren't mean. I didn't treat them mean. I respect them. They respect me. It's like that.
At your workplace, were your managers mostly female, male, or was it fairly even?
At Kmart, all the managers were mainly female, but everybody had the chance to get a promotion and become a supervisor. But nobody wanted to become supervisor because of the short end of the stick. Nobody wanted to do customer service and work up front and dealing with all the returns, because dealing with returns is the worst. And I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and I feel bad for the supervisors.
At Kmart, did the managers visibly assign more tasks to one gender over the other?
At Kmart, the managers didn't visibly assign a task to one specific gender more than the other. It just really depended on the department. For example, clothing. I know clothing, there's a lot of girls, and most of the girls are too lazy to move the heavy stuff, so we call the guys. It's not really based on the manager, it's based on the department and how we feel like if we decide if we want to move the box or not, or if we, because I know there's some really strong girls, but most of the time we just don't feel like leaving our department and walking all the way to the end of the store just to put it away.
In the interview of Kmart, we can see there is no obvious gender inequality among workers, but there are gender difference in assigning the job types. For example, men are usually assigned to carry heavy things or fetch shopping carts. From Dominic's experience as a former worker, the majority of the supervisors and managers were female and all gave him the same respect as all the other workers. In an interview with Nordstrom, the higher hierarchy store, we can basically see that men and women are treated quite evenly. The way that tasks assigned to male and female workers are more like a daily routine. All in all, these are only 2 stores, and the data and observations were based on only one employee interview from each store. There are many factors that can influence inequality in the market, but from what we have so far, it may be inconclusive and require extensive research and data collection.